Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we need to talk about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce because if you're Taylor right now, you're probably wishing you had listened to Kayla Nicole when she said, "He wasn't man enough for me." Here's what's happening. Travis has thrown a full-blown temper tantrum because his team lost, and Taylor Swift has permanently postponed the wedding. Yes, you heard that right, postponed. Let me give you some context. I was just talking with my girlfriends about this and here's what we know. Travis, and yes, I'm calling him Casey until he does something to earn the correct pronunciation, dated Kayla Nicole for 6 or 7 years. Then he broke up with her and suddenly he had stars in his eyes. Hollywood was calling and Taylor Swift was there. Now look, Taylor wrote those songs about building a home and having kids. But here's the question she should have asked. Does Travis actually want that? Because what Taylor is finding out, and what most WAGs and wives of professional athletes discover, is that it's all about them and their careers. This is the woman who turned down performing at the Super Bowl for this man. No. The wedding is indefinitely postponed. According to Page 6 and multiple sources, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are going through what's being called the first real test of their relationship. Why? Because Travis is having an existential crisis about his potential NFL retirement, and apparently that means the wedding has to wait. Let me break this down. You ask a woman to marry you. You set a wedding date. Your season ends. Win or lose, you knew it would end. But now because you're in your feelings, everything gets put on hold? Sources claim Taylor has been so focused on lifting Travis's spirits after the Chiefs' losing season that she's completely sidelined wedding planning. She's reportedly trying to put him in a better mood by spending more time with him and not bombarding him with wedding plans. But here's my question. Wouldn't planning your wedding and starting a new chapter actually be something positive to focus on? The source said Taylor wants Travis to focus on the wedding after he makes his career decision because she knows how important that is to him. She's looking at this rough patch as their first real test. They've been together enjoying the success of her tour, his Super Bowls, all the glory. But now Travis is staring at his future with complete 2020 vision, and apparently he can't handle it. Travis was previously rumored to be considering retirement after this season. He decided to try for one more Super Bowl ring before calling it quits. But now he's feeling defeated and missing being on the field. Translation, this might not be over. He might play another year. Here's his timeline. He'll make a decision about whether to play one more year after the Super Bowl. That's in a few weeks. Let's think about what this means for Taylor. She's probably doing all the wedding planning herself. This is Taylor's wedding. She's been talking about the dress, about getting married, about having kids. Everyone knows this is what she wants. But now, if she wanted an early summer wedding, and sources said their original date was sometime in May or June, she has to wait for Travis to decide in March whether he's even playing next season. That automatically pushes the wedding back to next year, unless she settles for a winter wedding. But even then, what happens next year? He might have another disappointing season and say, one more Super Bowl. Or he could pull a Tom Brady, win the Super Bowl and decide he's never leaving. Round and round it goes. Taylor Swift, world famous, incredibly successful, is now wrapping her entire schedule around one man's whims. For a wedding and honeymoon you need 1 week and maybe 3 weeks total? And he can't even schedule that? Here's what's really concerning. Taylor Swift and Travis reportedly had their post-NFL life planned out with different projects together. Remember when she joined his live stream and they broke YouTube records? They had plans. But how can you have post-NFL plans if he doesn't even know when, or if he's leaving the NFL? Sources say things are changing for Travis. He's getting to the end of what he's known all his life, dealing with potential retirement, marriage, a future family, and sprinkles of a whole new life in TV. Meanwhile, Taylor is coping with this challenging moment by focusing on the positive. Translation. Taylor Swift is not happy her wedding is postponed, but she's trying to keep him happy because she thinks that will make them happy. Twitter has had a lot to say about this situation and honestly some of these takes are spot on. One person said, "There's no way Taylor wants a long engagement. This is all Travis having second thoughts about what being in a relationship with Taylor does for his career. That was always his main motivation for being with her." Another pointed out, Taylor's been obsessed with getting one of her boyfriends to marry her forever because she wants kids. She broke up with that British guy after 7 years of trying to convince him to marry her, then jumped to another guy she thought was serious about marriage, only for him to dump her and marry the next girl super quick. Here's a harsh one. Travis is a self-absorbed athlete who was using Taylor Swift to market himself to the mainstream. He had plans to become the next Rock or John Cena. But there's a reason most WAGs have no career outside of supporting their athletes. Most athletes are super high maintenance. And let's not forget. Remember when Taylor Swift told Jimmy Fallon she turned down the Super Bowl for him? People are also bringing up her past relationship patterns. One comment said, Taylor Swift is incredibly ambitious. There's no way she didn't want to do the Super Bowl. She did this in her last long-term relationship too. She shrinks herself to make them more comfortable. Another added, remember when Taylor was walking through back doors of every establishment in London, avoiding the spotlight because her boyfriend at the time said he hated it? He was really just jealous of her stardom. I think that's why she fell for Travis's act. He was a complete 180. He seemed to love how famous she was and delighted in the limelight. But here's the reality check. Can you imagine the rage he would feel if she was performing at the Super Bowl while his team didn't make the playoffs? Taylor was smart to think of that scenario beforehand, but it's crazy that she doesn't realize long-term that's an insane thing to give up just to protect the feelings of a man who's now delaying your marriage. Here's what I think is really happening. Taylor gave up the Super Bowl for him, and now he's telling her to postpone wedding plans because he doesn't know what he wants. This goes to show that when someone treats their ex a certain way, they'll eventually treat you the same way once you become regular to them. The way Travis treated Kayla Nicole, and it wasn't just that he broke up with her, it was how he did it, was a red flag. Kayla said she was paying for way more than she should have in that relationship. Now that Travis has gotten used to Taylor's fame and everything it can do for him, he's treating Taylor like she's regular too. He's deciding whether he actually wants to take the next step with her. Taylor better start lighting some candles and saying some prayers if she wants this marriage to happen, because from where I'm sitting, this isn't looking good. Remember, Kayla Nicole tried to warn everyone. She really did. What do you guys think about this situation? Do you think they'll actually make it down the aisle, or is this the beginning of the end? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll talk to you all later. Bye.